Hey everybody, Jerome Maldonado. I had an anesthesiologist call in, and I listened to the calls that my team facilitates each and every day. This one intrigued me, so I listened to the entire call while I was in the gym. It took about 25 minutes to go through the entire call as I was sitting on the treadmill. And you know, it was intriguing to me because you get somebody who's an anesthesiologist, right? We're taught to go to school, get an education, go out and if you become a doctor or an attorney or one of these elite professionals, you get paid well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, in 2019, the average income for an anesthesiologist was $208,000. That's the median income nationwide for anesthesiologists. So they do well. Some of them made a lot more, some of them made a little bit less, probably because of the fact that they're working part-time. But anesthesiologists make between about $210,000 to $300,000 annually. Now, ladies and gentlemen, through the means of buying land and building real estate, you can make $100,000 on every single build that you do if you follow our Jerome Maldonado's $80,000 to $100,000 build hacking design plan that we've been doing for over 26 plus years. Now, you can go out and do 4 of these a year and make more than an anesthesiologist, and you can take 1 year to learn how to do that. If you only did 1 home, imagine how much time you saved in college. Because to become an anesthesiologist, ladies and gentlemen, you got to graduate from high school, then you go to college for 4 years. If you graduate in 4 years to get your undergrad, then you have to go in and you have to probably volunteer someplace at a hospital or work part-time at a hospital. Then you have to get accepted into medical school. That might take another year. So you're 5 years in, you get accepted to medical school. Now you have another 5 years of medical school because you have to do your rotations. Then if you're specializing, like in anesthesiology, another 2 years to specialize. So if you're 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, you get accepted at the age of 23 in a medical school. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So if you run through the program perfectly, by the age of 30, you can be an anesthesiologist. And you're probably on the lower end of the spectrum. You're probably modeling somebody, and you're probably making about $150,000 a year, give or take. And so you could take that path, and you can, in 10 to 12 years, you can be making $150,000 a year. Or you can go out and in 1 year, make $100,000 a year building 1 house. And so it was intriguing to me because this gentleman that came in as an anesthesiologist, he was talking to Daniel in our office, and he was a true professional. I love listening to the conversation. The guy has young kids. He started a little bit later in life, obviously, because he was probably in school, and he wants to be able to retire sooner than later, so spends all those years in college, and he's reaching out to us because he said, Daniel, I want to be able to go out and buy land and build houses. It's intriguing to me so that I can find a different means to make what I make doing something different. Ladies and gentlemen, I was taught when I was a kid that uneducated people that never go to college land up in construction, and you never do well and you struggle financially. Well, how wrong that statement was and how right I make the statement look through the means of what I've done over the course of my career. So look, ladies and gentlemen, I went to pharmacy school. I went through the educational program. I did that path. And I'll tell you that it wasn't a path that I was interested in pursuing long term. I did the whole education thing, went through pharmacy school, and that wasn't the path that I wanted to take. When I got started in the pharmacy program in the 90s, starting pay was $42,000 a year. I applied myself for 1.5 years to direct sales and network marketing. And in 1.5 years, I was making over $4,500 a month. That's more than a pharmacist made. And I had spent 5 years in college to become a pharmacist. And in 1.5 years, I figured out how to make over $4,500 a month. Now, I had expenses, but in 2.5 years, I was making over $200,000 a year in passive income off my distributorship. That company fell through in 1997. 1998, I started a construction company. 1999, I bought my first piece of land and built my first house. Ladies and gentlemen, we have done hundreds of millions of dollars in construction, development, buying land, building houses, and real estate transactions. I would have never imagined that through the means of construction and real estate, I would amass a fortune as big as we have and continue to grow each and every year. Look, I want to teach you the great means of construction that was never taught to me by my peers, by my teachers, by my parents, by other professionals. There's a hidden secret. And ladies and gentlemen, the secret isn't that much of a secret anymore. When you have anesthesiologists, professionals that are coming in going, hey, I'm interested. I want to learn what you're doing. I know what, I put in a ton of hours. I've put in a lot of time, and I want to make more. But in a hospital, you're hitting a ceiling, you're hitting a cap. You can only make as much money as patients you can see in a daily, weekly, monthly, annual basis. But ladies and gentlemen, through the means of being able to go out and create teams of people that work on your behalf, that you could put to work, subcontractors, contractors, and do multiple homes a year, in just one short year, if you only built one house, ladies and gentlemen, you'll make as much money as any white-collar professional getting out of college and more. Now look, understand, here's the key. People go through medical school, they do their rotations, they do their internships, and it takes them 10 to 15 years to specialize as a medical professional. But yet people will come into this industry, and if in 2 months they can't figure it out, they quit. And I sit back and I think about it and I go, oh my God, like what brainwash system have you went through that it's okay to spend 15 years to go out and make 200 grand a year, and you can't even give yourself 2 years to figure this model out and mass a fortune of millions. Ladies and gentlemen, the third year that I started buying land and building houses, I became a millionaire. And the way that I knew that I had become a millionaire is because my houses were paid for in cash, my taxes were paid for, and I had over $1 million in the bank. My third year, ladies and gentlemen, and the first 2 years that I started doing this, I was running my business full-time, I was doing this part-time, and I was already making 6 figures in the first year buying land and building houses. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman's question, he said, I'm older now. I don't have 30 years to put into this. Can I do this in a shorter amount of time and make realistically the money that I make as an anesthesiologist? And the answer to him and the answer to you is hell yes, you sure damn can. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't think you can, come in and work with my team. Now, you're not gonna do it overnight. If you quit in 2 months, it ain't gonna happen for you. If you quit in 6 months, it's not gonna happen for you. You've got to buy a deal. You got to put together a business model and a business plan that we exercise and we utilize every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, buy land, build houses. It will create wealth in your life if you desire it, but at the very least, it'll be a life-changing experience for you, your family, and for anybody who even does one home a year.